Y'all hear that? Hell yeah. Tell you what, brother. Let me fix this for y'all real quick. Why is my webcam so close? Oh. It's because I was sitting up high. That's what it was. My bad, y'all. Ooh, listen to that soul. Y'all hear that organ in the back? Alright, let me turn down this music real quick, y'all. Y'all probably not gonna hear it, a lot of it today. In case y'all wondering what it is that we are doing today, ladies and gentlemen. There's currently a thunderstorm coming my way. So I'm gonna lose power. What's going to end up happening is I'm gonna try to learn the blender. I have learned a couple tricks. Why did Blender crash? Blender? Here we go. So, I've learned that it's the middle button that legit does everything. I kid you not. And if I just click, I think it's 3, 6, and 9. I'll be honest, I'm still learning all the controls. But I'm learning. I am learning. Now, in case you're wondering what it is we're doing today, I've been saving a couple in my Watch Later playlist. And I think it was this one, the 6-minute 52-second one that I watched that we're going to try watching and following along with. So
learning any new program or skill is
yeah, it
beyond.
was this guy, Row Builder. He apparently uses Blender for his Roblox games, and he was saying that there was really only like 5, maybe 6 buttons that we need. So, and I keep seeing these here. Apparently, these are like buttons that you do to try and help yourself. I'll be honest, I am still so new to this. Like, I can't tell you any of how like some of these buttons works. What I can tell you is I did learn uh wrong thing. My bad. Hold on. If I hit tab, I go into edit mode. And I think it's this face mode. So you click on a face, and then if you go and hit, let me make sure I hit the right thing. And then you can bring this in. So let's say I want to go that far. And then I can go in yay much. Oh, wait, hold on. Ta-da! It does that. And then we can click this face again and like bring it in just a little bit more. And then hit E. And then take it down more. And then like keep this process going. It is a little bit finicky though. I've learned this. It's like it doesn't want to go down all the way. Yeah, see? And so that's what we did. Hey Yippee, I see you're currently in chat. Good luck. I feel like I'm gonna need it. But I also learned that like you can do like single planes like this, and then I can move it out like that. So, and apparently Control Z, of course, undoes everything. And apparently this is like your frames down here. I don't think I'm gonna need this at the current moment. So how do I get rid of you? I'm gonna close that area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And I think it's Shift A, and then you go to Mesh question mark, and like this is how you can. Or I thought it was. Where'd my circle go? I thought it was Shift A. Am I wrong? Anyway, good luck. Peace. Alright, thank you. Yeah, Shift A is supposed to spawn an object. Hmm. For once, I thought I was getting it. Shift A. Plane? Question mark? Probably not right. Oh wait, no, that worked. Okay. Shift A. Sphere. It's sphere. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So we got sphere now, right? Uh,
And daunting. There are so many people on this channel, so many comments every day. Can you teach me Blender, or how can I learn Blender? And guys, I'm here to tell you today, it's not as scary as it looks. One thing we try to do when learning a new program is look at everything and learn the whole thing. Look at all of these tabs up here. Look at all of these buttons literally everywhere. Guys, I never switch tabs. I never use these buttons. Or almost never. The truth of the matter is you can model almost anything you want in Blender by just knowing 4 or 5 buttons. And the only ones you need to focus on is of course Shift A. That is how you spawn in any object. Most of the time you're going to be working with a mesh, and these are the ones you could pick from. Then all you need to know is these 5 buttons. Pressing tab on your keyboard takes you into edit mode. This is how you manipulate the shape, whatever shape you're working on. In this example, it's a cube. Up here you have vertice, line, and face. Most of the time, I'm on face select. Now here's the main 4 buttons to make anything you want. First up, we have E. This extrudes an object. So press E, move your mouse, there we go. Let's say we want to make a cross. We could do that so easily by only clicking on different faces and pressing E. Do we see how easy that is? The next one is S. This is to scale an object. So let's say we want to scale this down. Maybe scale this down. We can actually scale all of them, and now we have a cooler looking cross, almost like a star. Next up, guys, we have R. This is rotate. If you can extrude, scale, and rotate an object, look at this cool shape we're already getting. And the last one, guys, is Control B. This is bevel. So we'll just hit A on everything. It selects it, and then Control B, And as you can see, we've now beveled our extrude, scale, and rotate an object. Look at this cool shape we're already getting. And the last one, guys, is Control B. This is bevel. So we'll just hit A on everything. It selects it, and then Control B, and as you can see, we've now beveled our edges. Now with just E, S, R, and Control B, this being extrude, scale, rotate, and bevel, let's see what all we can make. And no, I'm not covering everything. So we have a fresh cube. Let's see what we could do with just our 4 buttons. Let's go ahead and make, we'll go a flower. So I'll select all of these faces. Control B first.
need you. Can I get rid of you? No, not really. How do I? Yeah. Yeah! Look at that! We made a sunflower! We did a flower! Hold on, let me move it up a little. Look, we did a flower! See? Okay. Oh, wait, hold on, y'all. I gotta do something. Chat, am I still here? Chat, what is this thing doing? PC, don't make me dismantle you. I'll dismantle you in a fucking heartbeat. Okay. Alright, let's keep watching this.
Now I will select all of these faces,
How
and
did
we can
he
do a
get such a
variation
perfect one?
of extruding. So E is to extrude, but if you do Alt and E, you have these, I guess, ways to extrude. So let's extrude individual faces. Now we can do Control B again.
That's what I tried doing. What? Oh, if you hit shift, you can do individual faces. Whoa, okay. Uh, it became a little bit more spiky. Not even gonna lie. Why? Why are we doing it that way? Eh, it's not the worst I've done, but maybe when I get
Again, now we
better.
sort of have a flower. If we add in some rotation, it can help that look a little bit cooler. We can grab the back of this flower and press E to extrude. Grab another face, E to extrude. We can move this as well. Maybe we want to use R to rotate this so it looks a little less weird. Maybe we want to bevel the top here with the Control B. And just like that, in a couple of seconds, we have a flower. Now, of course, there is some better techniques you can use to really make this a lot better of a flower. But the fact that we can make almost any object with these few buttons really simplifies Blender for a lot of people. Now that we know the main 4 buttons, let's add 1 or 2 more. Let's say we want to make a house. We'll tab into edit mode and Control R. This adds a loop cut, which is just giving you more geometry to work with.
Hold on. Shift A cube. So Control R. Wait. Control R. Whoa. Okay. Huh. Okay.
When you're making something. So we've loop cut it. Let's grab the...
Okay. So he did. He did like that.
top lines here, and we'll just move those up.
He. What? Okay, you can do it strictly by the lines. That's cool to know. There a way I can actually move you up? Please. Thank you. Uh, hey. Grab all of this. Grab, please. I didn't grab his ass. My bad. There we are. Lift. Perfect.
Up. As you can see, we are already starting to get a house shape. Let's grab all of the top, and we'll reuse Alt-E and extrude along face normals. Now,
Wait. So he goes here, clicks these, Alt E. Wait. Oh. Grabs them, Alt E, along face normal. Oh. Wait. No, wait, wrong thing. I can just. You know what? That's not what I was trying to do. but it looks pretty decent. Why are you different? Oh wait, did I? So it's because you gotta hit E first, Bear. You hit E first, and then that's when it works. Look at that, we got a house. That's kind of lopsided somehow. Is it just me, or does that go above? No, it's legit, right in line. Okay. Guess it's just the way I'm looking at it. Looks wrong.
Now we have a roof on this house. After we're here, maybe we want to add a little more shape to the house, a little more depth. So we will grab these and we will do Alt-E, extrude along face normals.
Oh, E. There we are. We got ourselves a house. Look at that. Looks good.
Now we have a pretty cool roof on the house. Maybe we want a cool part on the side, like a garage. So
Ooh, a garage bit. I got it. I'm not even following the tutorial anymore. We're trying this by ourselves, y'all. Let's control, not control. It is control. My bad. E. Control R. And then, can we lower you without hurting anything? Not really. Don't know why there's a random line. Alright. Let's grab these. Alt E. That did not work. How did I wind up with two of you, actually? Now that I think about it. How did I do that? Ah, that's how. I was wondering how I did that. Uh, oh, wrong thing. Alt E. What happens if I line you up there and then grab that, that, and that? Alt E. Exclude that way. And then what would happen if I'd I don't know if I was the right thing to use. Hey, horrible. Is it? Oh, I shift I. It is not. Okay, I'm lost.
we'll go ahead and extrude this. We can extrude the top as well. Then we can
Hmm.
do Alt-E. extrude along face normals once again. We can grab this top and we can extrude it downwards, once again, just using the only 4 keys we've been using so far. We could do E and then S like this, so extrude and scale. We could
Wait, what?
downwards, once again, just using the only 4 keys we've been using so far. We could do E and then S like this, so extrude and scale. We could extrude
Hold on. E, then S. I built a. Never mind. Hold on. I gotta fix this. Hmm.
this in. Now we have sort of a garage door. I guess you guys are probably getting the gist. Instead of learning this whole program, just using 5 keys can really do pretty much anything you want. One of the things we make most in Blender, especially on Roblox, is trees. So let's just do something like that. We spawned in an object. We're gonna tab into edit mode. We'll scale this down with S. Then we can press S and an axis, so we will do S and Z to scale only along that axis.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Hold on. And I'm all turned around. Why? Oh God, I Blender, work for me, my boy. Please, dear God, work for me. I make. Oh wait, too big. I make big tree. Doesn't look like it, but I'm gonna make a big tree. Let's do a cone. Where the hell's my? Ooh, I got an idea. Uh, there we are. Joshy, welcome, my boy. It's Shifty. Shifty is the one that does it. All right, I need to put this inside the thing. And then if I scale and then shift D again and then hold that, it should do that. And then I can do this, shift D again, hold Z, do that, do scaling. I made myself a Christmas tree. What the hell happened here? So it's our, oh, I'm in school right now. It's our break. So what are we going to do? Right now, I'm currently trying to learn Blender. I followed this guide by Road Builder, who is like showing how you build trees and like what buttons do what. I don't know how in the world I did this. You you would think at some point, something would have been done, but nope, nah, doesn't happen. I find it kind of funny actually. But yeah, currently learning this thing. Don't quite know why nothing's showing up here, to be honest with you. But because it says all this is my cube. This is not a cube at all. Uh, how do I change my view? Ah, there we are. So yeah, in case you're wondering what we've built so far, I'll show you. So far, we built ourselves a flower. See, I built that. We also built this. If I can view right, where's my light? There we are. There way I can move that. Yoink. Thank you. We built ourselves a house. See? Even gave ourselves a chimney. Got ourselves a little garage off to the side. To clarify, you're not going to react right, like if you're having a break from Blender. No, unfortunately not, because I'm only on for like 2 hours today. Because there's a storm rolling in right now, and I'm just trying to get some practice in, before the storm takes away my power. So we're doing a very quick trying to learn Blender today.
Axis. We can use Control
I'm
R to
also
move
eating
cut. We'll
supper,
grab
so
this bottom face and scale it up. We'll grab the top one and scale it down. Then we'll spawn in another cylinder. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to scale the top down. We can move that. Then we can move this up. And if we just do Shift D, it's going to duplicate what we just made. We can press S to scale that down,
yep.
Shift D to duplicate, S to scale that down, and I'm using G to move these where they need to go. So now we have something like this. And we could pretty easily make it quite a bit better. We're going to grab this top one, press S to scale it quite a bit more in. We'll grab our movement tool and just scale it up or drag it up. We can move this down so it's hidden on the bottom. And now we can use our other keys that we learned earlier, like R to rotate. We'll rotate a little bit that way. Grab another one, rotate it a little bit this way. Now we can make this tree even cooler. Let's grab all of these bottom faces by clicking on them, and we're holding Shift to select more than one. We could press E and S to extrude those inwards. Then we can do Alt-E, extrude along face normals, to extrude those up. And then we can do S to scale those in. Just like that, if this was your first day in Blender and you made a tree like this, I don't think you'd be too upset. So guys, I know this video might not have been formatted the best.
So, what he did, of course, I can't do mine like that. Why? Why am I stuck? Why can't I ever... What he did was he clicked... Let me go on a tab. He was clicking the bottom part of these, so like that. And then he hit E, and then S to send it in, so that it looked like that. Actually, let me... There we are. Hey, I fixed my tree. Not really, but not all trees are perfect. I mean, look at that. It's not half bad. And then if I wanted to, I could do that and then hit R and just turn it a little bit. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot you gotta do it like on all sides. Like that. Do that. Do that. And then hit R. Turn a little bit. I can't do much because I actually was using cones, not yeah, see? And then we go like here, and then we go like here, and hit there too. Well, you know what? You know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. That's not half bad, honestly. I'm kind of happy with this tree. I tell you what. That looks pretty good.
But I made it just so people struggling to get into Blender or feeling like it's way too much to learn know that you only really need to know a few things to be able to model at least the starter assets you need to build maps. One more thing I wanted to add in this video is sort of a challenge to make a video like this to any other skills in the Roblox community. Whether that's scripting, UI design, animating, etc., I've found myself being terrified to learn new skills. For example, Substance Painter, I just can't wrap my head around it. But if someone made a video like this that said, hey, you only really need to know these 4 or 5 things.
I will say there's been a lot of things that I have been kind of very scared about. One thing that was always kind of iffy with me was what you call it, music. So I actually here I'll show y'all real quick. So no reaction for today. All right, I'll just watch you learn Blender 10.4. I will say I do want to show this because I find it kind of fun. I made a theme song today, and I want to know what everyone would kind of think. Hopefully it comes through. There it is. The music is musicking. Yeah, I made that while I was at work. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this in order to try and make a theme song for a show. And so I came up with that. It's not perfect, so I definitely need to like fix some stuff in it, but yeah, I think it came out pretty decent. Where is the video? I think it might be this one. I think it might be this one.
You either spend hours modeling them in Blender. I generated them using Tripo. You can generate a
No,
3D model.
I will never ever use this. It would be probably 10 times easier, but I refuse to use an AI to model something that I can at least pay somebody else to do.
Be careful with bevels.
Okay.
2 years ago, I made a video on Blender for the absolute beginner basics. If you never opened this program, that video was meant to kinda get you to your first model. However, with Blender updating quite a bit since then, and that video getting a bit lost in the sauce since it's been 2 years, I wanted to make another one for anyone opening this program in 2025. The first thing I need to cover is moving in Blender.
No to AI to make your games. Exactly. I'm going to be making my games the hard way, and I'm also probably going to be making my show that way too.
It's a bit weird and takes a second
and
to
then
get
me
used
and Jiggy,
to,
we're
so
going to
I'll
be
break
drawing
it down
all
very,
ourselves.
very easily. On your mouse, your middle scroll wheel will let you zoom out and zoom in. If you click in the middle scroll wheel and drag around, you can go around your object in whatever way you're bringing your mouse. If you hold shift and click the middle scroll wheel, you can pan around your scene. And if you have a number pad, you can click 1 for front orthographic. I hope that's how you say it. 3 for right orthographic. 7 for top. and 9 for bottom. If you don't have a number pad, you can hold Alt on your keyboard and click in your middle mouse wheel and drag in the direction you want it to be. This way, you can snap to these views without having a number pad. That's pretty much all you need to know about moving. It's a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's not bad at all.
Mine
The
for
next
some reason
most
is 1,
important thing
7,
in
and
Blender,
9.
especially when you're starting out, is modes. If we click on our object, this cube, and then go up to our modes here, you could see all of these modes. And don't get too overwhelmed, because when you're first starting out, sculpt, vertex, weight, and texture matter about 0%. All you need to know is object and edit mode. In object mode, you're moving your mesh as a whole. So let's say we press G to grab it, it's moving the whole thing. You cannot independently edit any part of it. However, in edit mode, we can choose where we want to drag maybe vertices or lines or faces, and that brings us in to the 3 things we can edit: vertices, lines, and faces. If you click on the
Okay, I'll go ahead and break down wording. Vertices is corners. I do know this. Allow me to show exactly what's been learned. So vertices are the corners, right? The faces are the big points, and of course everybody knows the lines. So that's basically what it's talking about. Oh, that would have been so helpful. Huh. I'm about to write all this down. Okay. So, in case you're wondering what all I need this for, I have the Flower Boy Funhouse map, so I have to design a arcade machine. I need to do the tables. I already have cameras. I need to do the animatronics themselves. So we're going to have to do some character creations. So that's going to be fun. And that's just for, hold on, let me fix how I have this set up. Flower Boy Fun House. Right? Then I have my own game, which I'm calling YouTuber Rumble. But it's gonna be 2D, so I think the only thing I'm really possibly gonna need is maybe ideas of like how levels are designed. And then so I'm just gonna put design for right now. Then I have a second idea, right? The second idea is a god awful idea. I'm going to be learning this in order to create my own horror game. Okay? The horror game, I don't want to spoil anything on it. In fact, there's not even a name, so right now it's just horror game. But I need to create the monsters, NPCs, buildings, and basically the different props, right? And then, not to mention, I want to learn how to animate in this thing because I have some SCP style animations I want to do. So, there's a lot of reasons I'm learning Blender. And from what I understand, down here is the like actual parts of it. So like I don't know how each one works, really. So after I've, learned how to actually do this, that's when all the fun stuff happens. In fact, since I'm thinking about it, let's do a quick little test. Let's go itch.io. We're going to try building something real quick. It is so bright. That is not what I was looking for. Ooh, what is that? Farm jam, eldritch horrors, and mushrooms. That seems pretty cool. Anyway, dashboard. That is not what I was looking for. My library. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. Did it not save my... Okay, it didn't save. I thought it saved. My bad. Hey! It created a box. I ain't create a box. Alright, in case anybody's wondering what it is I'm doing, I'm currently going here to Funhouse in order to steal a design from Jiggy. So, here's what we're doing. I'm trying to create... Let me set all of them to 0. Let me go... I think it's here. Yeah. Okay. I hit the wrong button. Let me do that. What I'm going to do... That was an awful photo. Let me try stealing this. There we are. So, what we're going to try doing is recreate this photo inside Blender. That way I have the prop. And after I have the prop, I can then put it inside of my Flower Boy Funhouse inside the actual gmod. If that makes sense. Probably not, but still. By the way, it has been a while since I've actually played this game, and I feel like I should get back into playing it. I will say, I wish there was a way to easily, kill yourself. Very, very strange, I know, hearing that, but... Okay, let's scale it up, right? So, and then let's go here and click on this right here and move it about yay height, right? That seems about right for me. What y'all think? I think it's about right. Right? Yeah. No. Alt R? No. Control R. Oh, yay. Right there. Okay. This is going to be the thing. That's not supposed to be happening. E. Like, not quite. I've seen your video. Yeah, it was a funny one. That video was a blooper. God. Something like that, I guess. And then what would happen if I fell there and then do it again? Take this, sink it in about there? Question mark. I mean, yeah. I need you out here, please. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like this could come in just a little bit more. And then, is it, no, Shift A. Do it like that, question mark? No, not even close. Like there, maybe. Do it like that, maybe. Put in line with the others. Why? Why did we decide to do that game? Come on. I swear this thing hates me with a passion. No, I'm not trying to. And then lower you in. Be the same height as your buddies. Or not, and just be rude. I need a sphere. Jesus, not yay big. More like that tall, maybe? Question mark. Like that? Yay or nay? I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, all that's really missing is some texture. You know? Except for like right down here. Is there a way I can... Yeah, there is actually. Do it like that, and then sink it in just a little bit. Like that. And so now when I tab out, it should be one coherent piece. Look at that, y'all. Look at what we did. Y'all see what we did? Take that back. Hold on. Let me go back, and I just want to raise that a little bit. Something about this being flat bothered me. I don't know what. Why did you decide to do that? Why are you coming in this way? Shake that thing, da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun dun dun. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like we did what I wanted with that. It should be good, right? It should. Well, did a little bit like that. Right, right. It just, I don't know. I know I'm gonna keep touching it, and whenever that happens, it's gonna be an issue. I should just leave it, right? I should just leave it, right? I mean, y'all tell me, yay or nay, yay or nay. I don't know. I genuinely can't. I can't tell if I like it or if I hate it. You know what? I know somebody that will solve this.
Jude, I'm a fat
Hey,
little
Killer
Jude.
just Killer, we're playing Fortnite. I mean, no wait, we're playing
Fortnite.
hey, I'm currently live. I need Jiggy's opinion.
I don't know what happened with my
Jiggy. Now
gun,
you
but it's
have
all
to be
messed
nice
up.
since he. Oh my God! Now Jiggy is spamming his little RPG. This is an RPG spammer.
Jiggy.
How's your blender going, Killer?
That's
Oh,
what
Sweet.
wait.
I need your opinion. Yay
What's
or
the
nay
same?
on the arcade cabinet. I currently have a side by side of from in the game on my screen.
Um,
I feel like I need to bring out the bottom of it.
I'd say yay. Only thing I would have the you know the top sort of part
Yeah.
of the arcade machine, just have that a little bit. If you can take that side just a little bit down, I think that will work out.
Which side?
Gmod.
Which side?
I can't. It's hard to describe. It's so you see the top portion, right? The cover or the
This
whatever
part?
that that part. Bring like can you sort of bring the bottom of vertex a little bit down?
How far down we need to go? Like down here, up
No,
here?
not that down, but a little bit chunkier. Or if you can bring the top
Oh my
portion,
gosh, how much
that
do you
that
grind this
whole
game? How do you have every single
that block,
weapon?
if you could just make
I
the
barely have any weapons.
I don't know how to
Dude,
describe it.
I
Just
only have
extend the
default
part
weapons.
a little bit up, so, a little bit taller.
I only have like
It needs to
five.
be
I only have
taller?
5 other weapons.
A little bit, yeah. Because there
I
is
have
some
zero
space.
other weapons, man.
Like how taller? Like that taller?
Dude, I'm getting double teamed.
It
Gmod,
did 60 on did
Gmod.
damage on me. I got that. Bet that
How do
guy.
I change my
Yeah,
weapons?
that top bit, yeah. Can you extend that a little bit taller? Because I think it'll
How
be
do I change my
accurate.
weapons? This isn't fair.
Oh, the baby's gonna cry.
Bro. Oh my gosh, Jaggy, stop!
Okay.
I'm just
It's
getting double teamed
taller
3
now.
times in a row. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm actually. Yo, holy lag.
See?
I don't know what happened.
It's a little bit taller.
There you go.
I think I forgot to emote.
But no, it looks great, Killer. Good job.
How
Good
do
work.
I
Thank you.
change my weapons?
You have to buy them, bro.
Yeah, you have to buy your weapons, bro. I know, it's dumb.
Oh, thank you.
Emo!
Yeah, because Slixion took like all my damage. So you did like nothing.
Yeah?
Yeah!
No? Okay.
Okay. I'm getting third party! I'm getting third party!
Emotes!
No, you're not. I've been getting third party for the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm mocking you.
There we are. That's the right. I just need to move these buttons now.
Also, check this, bro. Get off. Yo, hop off the RPG, bro.
Look, you better win, bro. Good job.
Just because, you know what the thing that sucks about 1v1s? No, what 1v1?
I still don't know how to change my
Bro,
weapons.
something's wrong with my
You need to
robot.
buy them!
Can someone tell me how to change my weapons? I still don't know.
What are you playing on?
Emo!
I shot you!
Look at you!
You know what, Slixion? Let's team up on him. Slixion.
How
How do I change my weapons?
You have to press M for the
Yeah,
match
but you have
starts.
no weapons.
Okay, man.
Watch,
This shotgun
Jaggy, just
spammer at this point,
spam
man.
Yo,
So?
yo, say that about RPGs to Jagesis, bro.
I mean, yeah, Jagus is only using RPG, but you're only using
Emo!
shotgun, man.
Bro, hop off the RPG. That's why you're winning. Rematch,
Two
rematch.
is.
Yeah, because you're using the RPG, which is the most annoyingest gun in the game. Here, I'll beat y'all asses in backrooms.
But it's not illegal. All right, I won't
Yes,
use
it-
RPG. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please don't. It's very annoying.
It won't even let me switch.
Because you haven't bought one yet. Are you actually?
Yeah,
are
the
you
last time I
dumb as
played this
fuck?
I can tell they're getting angry. Oh god. All right, y'all tell me, chat. How do we feel about it? I think if I actually put stuff on it, I'll like it better. How do I do that? That is a genuine question. By the way, what time is it in here? It's only 1 o'clock. Get out of here. I ain't doing that. Nah.
In the vertices selection mode, you can click any vert on your mesh and do anything you want. If we press G to grab, we can move this in. We can kind of go around and just play with these however we want. If we want to grab a line to move it all at once, you could do that. And if we want to grab a face, we could do that too. Let's press Ctrl Z to get back to a basic cube and start talking about how to turn this into something. We're going to stay in edit mode. I am usually on the face selection,
Yep.
and I press A to select everything within this mesh. Now, in Blender, the most daunting thing when you're starting is keybinds. Everything in this program has a keybind and can be used by pressing some sort of hotkey combination on your keyboard. It's super
And it's
daunting.
annoying as
We're
hell.
going to get into like 4 or 5 of them that will turn this cube into your first model. So we've already said A to select everything. Up next is S. If you press S on your keyboard, you can scale your object down. Now this doesn't matter if you're selecting everything or selecting one face. It scales whatever your mouse is selecting. Up next, we have E to extrude. Now guys, this one, I wouldn't recommend grabbing everything at once. This works the best on faces in most cases. Of course, you could do it with lines and vertices as well, but if you press E, you're looking at your mesh. However, you can also lock this down. So if you press R and then Y, for example, you are only rotating on the Y axis. You could do this with all of the keybinds, by the way. So we could do scale in the X axis, for example. Now that we know how to extrude, scale, and select different faces, and rotate, let's get into some of the cooler ones that are really gonna start helping you out. Control R adds loop cuts, aka more geometry for you to work with. Let's say we wanted to move this in the middle. Let's just say we want to make it bigger. We could press Ctrl R and we could scroll on our mouse if we want more, but for now we're just going to click to add that one. Then we could press scale and we have a bigger section in the middle. The last hotkey I really want to talk about today is bevel, because it is a game changer. As you can see here, we have some pretty hard edges, and sure, we could right click and do shade smooth, which isn't really that great. We could right click, do shade smooth auto smooth, which is a little bit better, softening up these edges, but we still have some very hard edges. If we hold Alt and select this line, now we have all of these. We could do Control and B to bevel this. We can also use our scroll wheel to add more segments, making that a very smooth side. Now be careful
That
with
doesn't
bevels,
work for me. I don't know why.
especially what we call micro bevels, like this for example. We could bevel this whole spot to make it softer, but instead of adding geometry, we could just shade smooth auto smooth. And we have no more geometry, but it still looks how we wanted it to look. Alright, so we've been over the basics, edit mode and object mode. We know how to move in Blender, and we know how to make the cube look a little bit different than it looked when we joined into Blender. Now, how do we do more? What's next? Guys, adding in objects to your scene is by far the next step. We should turn this into something. I'm gonna press S to scale it down. And let's see, let's just scale this back down. I should just get rid of this. We don't need it. Delete. If you press Shift and A on your keyboard, it brings up this add menu. 90% of the time, I am in this mesh subsection. We have plane, cube, circle, UV sphere, icosphere, cylinder, cone, torus, a bunch of stuff, okay? Let's say we want to make a tree. We're going to bring in this cylinder right here. And if this is too many vertices for our game, maybe we're working on mobile or we want super low poly, we could click this arrow down here and just scale that down. I'm going to put it at 8. Now that we have this, we could take what we have already learned. So let's go into our edit mode. The shortcut for this would be tab on your keyboard to switch.
It is flooding outside my window.
Switch back and forth, but in edit mode, let's scale this down. grab our top face and drag it up. Press S to scale. Now we have sort of a tree trunk. We could right click and shade smooth auto smooth. We can also up this angle so it actually looks a bit smoother. Let's do Shift A again. And let's do a circle, cause why not? And we'll make this 12 sides. Now, let's tab into edit mode, once again. Go to our line select mode, since we're on a circle, and let's press E to extrude it. As you can see, it's going all over the place, so we're going to press E and Z to lock it to that axis. And then we can press S to scale. We can press Ctrl R to loop cut, S to scale. If we press L, we can grab this whole piece, S to scale, R to rotate, Shift D to duplicate, R to rotate, S to scale, Shift D, S to scale, R to rotate. As you can see, we are quickly making a pine tree. I could take all of these again if I wanted to, Shift D, S to scale, bring them here. Maybe we want to rotate this one along the Z axis, so R and Z, and maybe we want shade smooth, auto smooth. Obviously, this is not the best tree ever made, but it does show you that you can very easily take a super small set of keybinds and super limited knowledge in Blender and make something for your game. Hopefully this video made Blender seem a little bit less daunting, and if any of you guys used it to make your first model, join my Discord and post your model and creations. I would be super excited to see them, but that'll wrap it up for today.
You know what? I'm very happy with this road builder guy. Really like his video. I clicked too many times. It does seem like most of his stuff is Roblox oriented and stuff with like AI and stuff, but you know what? I'm very much a fan of the Blender that he did. It also seems like he does game building, so you know what? I'm very, very happy about knowing that. I will say at some point, probably tomorrow, we're going to try doing the donut. Tomorrow we're going to try doing the donut. I'm probably going to regret it, but still. Alright, let me save this. Um, arcade? Maybe. Alright, we're going to save this as arcade maybe because you never know, I might change the design a little bit. More than likely, I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's try finding a different tutorial. Jesus, 6 years of Blender? That guy put in the work, not even going to lie. Um, Blender coloring. This is what I want to know. How do we color? Because everything is gray. So, and plus everything is showing as a cube, but the cube no cube, you know? Am I wrong? Probably. But it shouldn't be cube. Hold on, y'all. My thing go bad. Sorry, went way too many backwards. But yeah, everything's a cube. How do I make it to where these aren't cube? Because the joystick shouldn't be a cube. Uh, This is one of the few times I'll go Rutro Raggy. What what do I do? Um I probably should have done it as something else. Well, let's see what this guy says. Who knows? We might be able to texture different parts of it as different things.
If you're brand new to Blender and especially new to 3D, adding color and textures on your 3D creations can be really confusing. So this is the absolute simplest way to do it. We have a cube here. We're not going to do any fancy modeling on this, but let's say that this is going to be a wooden crate. Well, the very most basic way to make this sort of like a wooden crate would be to turn this brown. So all colors and textures and basically anything beyond just having a gray surface is going to have something to do with adding or changing the material. So with my 3D object selected, I can go down here to this little red circle, and that's going to bring up my materials palette.
Alright, let me start on something that isn't the thing that I spent like half an hour working on. Okay, click this, and then he says click material, right?
And everything in 3D is made up of a material that has to do with its
There a way I can rename this thing real quick? Hold on. Test color. Test color.
its color and how it reflects light and its roughness and all of that. But the most basic version of this is just the color of the material. We have our default material here, which is already applied to this cube. And if I click on this white part by base color like this, I get a color picker. And let's just do kind of an orange and then make it dark. That's going to make us a brown. We'll even have this nice and saturated like this, then click off. Now, I've turned this base color brown for my material. And the material is already applied to this cube, so what the heck? Why isn't it brown? This was so confusing to me when I started Blender. And the answer is up here. There are multiple different ways to view your 3D objects in Blender. And by default, this one is called viewport shading. And basically, it's just looking at the shapes. It doesn't really take into account what they're made out of. It's just kind of this gray shape. To the left, we can switch it to wireframe mode. And to the right, we can click this next one over and we get hardware shading. So this
Okay.
This kind of gives you a rough idea of what the textures and colors and things are. And so this is going to be great for us. It's sort of like a lower quality way to see the materials in the viewport. But if we switch over to the very far right, and click this, that is going to actually give us a rendered view, which means that it's going to react to lights and there's going to be shadows and all kinds of stuff like that. So we can see the reflections on the top of that cube. One side is bright, another side is dark. And so that's going to give us a better idea of what this is going to look like when we actually render it. But for now, I'll switch back to our hardware shading and we have our brown cube. Now, let's say that we want to go one step further and we want this to actually look like a wooden crate and not just a brown box. Well,
Yeah.
one thing we could do would be to add more geometry to this. I could go into edit mode and adjust things like this and make more geometry and everything. And that would totally do it. Let me know if you want a video on kind of how to do that sort of thing. But a really simple hack when it comes to 3D stuff is to just add a detailed texture to something that isn't very detailed. And so I have a couple of textures here, and one of them is this really nice 3D crate texture. And what we can do is basically put this image on every side of the cube so that in our video game or our render or whatever, this cube will look a lot more like an actual wooden crate. So how the heck do we do this? Well, the answer, just like our color, is here in the material. And here I'm just going to mouse over base color and hit backspace. That's going to reset my base color to white. And then I'm going to click this little yellow dot. That's going to bring up all different kinds of things that we can do to this base color. But I'm going to go over and select image texture right here. That's going to change this color to use a texture, and it's all this color. But I'm going to go over and select image, bring up all different kinds of things. That's going to reset my base color to white. And then I'm going to click this little yellow dot. That's going to bring up all different kinds of things that we can do to this base color. But I'm going to go over and select image texture right here.
Let me do that. There we are. Let's do another cylinder. Find where this one is. There we are. Shift A. Sphere. You became your own Why are we being put there? Can I lock this? There we are. That might need to go just a little bit down. Like there, maybe? Yeah. Y'all see that? Oh, you fucking closed out the thing. Uh, Pictures, screenshots. Let's look at this. Okay, so it seems that the cylinder, it needs to be gray and metallic. And I might be able to get away with this. Like that? Joystick. I don't know how I feel about it, I'll be honest. And I know why I feel lost on it. First things first, I'm just going to get rid of all of that. Not even lying. I'm just getting rid of that. I'll put a different thing in there to like fill it in, if that makes sense. How do I move you again? I don't even know how I moved you. Oh, I fucking hate this thing. There we are. There we are. Shift A. Let's do a cube real quick. Just one. Cube. There we are. Maybe about there. You know what? Doesn't look half bad. Not even gonna lie. I mean, granted,
Here. That's going to change this color to use a texture, and it's also going to give me a little bit of options here. And what I want to do is go to Open, and I'm just going to navigate to my texture. By the way, if you want to follow along and use this exact same texture, there is a link to download that totally for free down below. So I'll select this and hit Open Image, and that is going to give us some weird results. This is not right. Something is wrong. It sort of works. I mean, it's wooden, but it's not what we thought it would be. Ideally, we would have this kind of image on each plane here, and we would have this texture repeated on each side of the cube. So why isn't it doing that? Well, the answer is because of UVs. What the heck is a UV? A UV is basically a way to tell a 3D mesh how to use an image texture. And so we can tell it, okay, we want all of the image textures to be repeated on each side here. We can have it wrap around two sides or whatever we want to do. So we have to set up our UVs, and UVs is a huge, huge thing. But luckily for us, we have a really simple cube here. And so to set our UVs, we're just going to hit Tab to go into edit mode and hit A to select all of these faces. And we're going to go up to this little menu that pops up here when we're in edit mode and we have our object selected. We can go to UV and we're going to go down to cube projection. And what that's going to do is just project an image on each side of our cube, just like this. Boom. And now look at this. this. I can hit tab. Look at that. Now we have our texture on each side of the cube, and this looks like a wooden crate. Isn't that exciting? I love this, man. And so that's a massive, massive difference. And so even if you're brand new to Blender now, you can make a textured cube and do all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, you could do some Minecraft goodness just with this little bit of information. Isn't that awesome? The other thing I can do is go down here to this little bit in our material options, and I can decide how rough I want this to be. So I can push up the roughness a little bit because that wood is probably pretty rough. And now we have a pretty nice looking crate just from applying that texture. We'll do a little bit more on this crate in future videos. How about you drop a comment down below and tell me what you want to see next. Until then, check out the link in the description for this free texture.
Sniff out fraud with USAA Classic Checking.
Hey, Alex!
What's up?
Hello, welcome, come on.
So you've made your first object or character in Blender, and now you want to add some color. Someone told you you'll need to UV unwrap your model first, so you googled UVs and had a mini breakdown. What are these strange grid shapes, and how on earth do they relate to your 3D model? Let me level with you. As 3D artists, we have a tendency to overcomplicate things. Now, don't get me wrong, things like retopology and UV maps are extremely important, and the more complex your models become, the more important they become. But for beginners, these technical tools work like gatekeepers. They frustrate new users, and they make them jump through multiple hoops just to do something basic like adding a few simple colors. So in this video, we're going to do away with UV seams, projection mapping, UDIMs, and all that technical jargon. And instead, I'm going to show you how you can start painting your creations in about 2 minutes. If you'd like a model to practice with, you can download the scene file from the link in the description. Or you can feel free to use your own model, because this technique will work on any object. Jump on over to the Texture Paint workspace. Technically, you can texture paint from the Layout workspace, but this sets up our windows nicely for us, as well as giving us access
Texture paint. Why? Why does it do that? New. Arcade. New image.
to a couple of additional tools. If you try and paint on your model now, you'll see nothing happens. But we do get this little error down the bottom.
Huh. I do real quick, just want to save. Okay, we're going here.
It says missing UVs, materials, and textures detected. So we're missing 3 necessary things here. Let's start by creating a material because maybe you're already familiar with those. Jump down to the Materials Properties tab and click the New to create a new material. If we change the color, you'll see that nothing happens in the viewport. That's because we're still in solid view, which usually just shows a simple gray version of your model. If you want to see this color, change the viewport to Material. Now when we change the base color, the viewport will update. If we try and paint on our model now, we'll still get an error saying we're missing UVs and textures. Okay, let's create those UVs. Up on the top menu here, under the drop-down called Texture Slots, you can see this warning message that says UV map needed next to this button, Add Simple UVs. So, let's push that button. In the image
Where was that button? Texture slots.
that says UV map needed next to
Why doesn't mine give that? Oh, I'm just missing textures. I already have a UV
this
map.
button, Add Simple UVs. So, let's push that button. In the image editor window, you can see some UVs pop into existence. Being an automated method, this isn't the best UV layout in history. There's quite a few UV islands, as well as a lot of empty space, but this is good enough for you to start painting. For anyone wondering, this Simple UVs option is the same as going into edit mode, selecting everything and pressing U to bring up the unwrap menu, and then choosing Smart UVs. The Add Simple UVs button will only be visible if you have no UVs out.
But wait, I can't see none of mine. How do I get rid of the annoying ass thing in the way? Alright, how did he do it the other way?
Simple UVs option is the same as going into edit mode. This Simple UVs option is the same as going into
Edit mode.
selecting everything
Hey.
and pressing U to bring up the unwrap menu, and then choosing Smart UVs. The Add Simple UV UVs button will only be visible if you have no UVs at all, and most of Blender's default objects come with some UVs to begin with. If you can't find the Add Simple UVs button, use the Unwrap menu. There's a lot of different UV options in the menu, but Smart UVs is a very quick and dirty method to get you up and running quickly. Unfortunately, we still have that pesky missing textures error we need to address. What might not be immediately intuitive to new users is that although we have UVs, the UVs themselves don't hold the color data. For that, we need an image texture like a JPEG or a PNG. Back in our Tools menu, you should see this text saying No Textures. Next to that is a plus button. Tap that and you'll see a whole bunch of options. All of these relate to different textures you can create for your object, such as how shiny or how bumpy the surface is. Leave all of that for another day. For now, we just want the base color. In this new pop-up window, you can choose how big you want your textures to be. If you're making models for video games, 1024 by 1024 will probably be big enough. Working in film and animation, I usually use larger textures, so I'm going to crank this up to 2K or 2048 by 2048. For this texture, we don't need alpha, although it's not really going to do any harm if you do accidentally leave it on. I'm also going to choose a light brown color as our base to paint on, and click OK. The mushroom in the viewport should change color to that light brown. And you may notice that your UV window suddenly zoomed in. This happens because we chose to use a larger texture size. You can zoom back out of this if you want to see all of your UVs again. And now, at last, we're ready to paint. I'm going to choose a red color to paint on top of the mushroom. You can select a color either from the viewport menu at the top or from the side panel. You can control the strength and the radius of your brush at the top, or you can right click in the viewport to bring up the same options. Sometimes you might paint a section you didn't want to by accident.
That is god awful. I know for a fact it is. Hold on. Pictures. Yeah, see, it doesn't look like it at all. Look at that. Is there... It's not gonna look perfect, unfortunately. Doesn't quite help that I'm also using a mouse to do this, so why won't it? It's not letting me do the secondary color. There we go. I'm just gonna do a little bit of darkness, you know. We'll do about five pixels, 5 pixels. Yeah, there we are. Make it a little bit darker underneath. That way it seems like that. And then That's not right. Why did we not get the right color? I need that color. No, why are we still going lighter? No. There we are. That's close. It's not exact, but I think I'm the only person that'll realize. There we are. There we are. And then, how do you get drawn? Looks like we start the same type of way. I tell you what, we're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow. Let's do some 5 real quick. Just to make this a little bit darker. That's up. Mm, there we are. Look at that. Ooh, tell you what, look at that. Does it look pretty? Hell nah. Is it mine? Hell yeah. Alright. What the fuck are you? No. Really? There we go. I tell you what, that looks pretty good. I tell you what, look. Now, time to do the all important signature. Y'all ready for this? Oh, that's a bad B. Oh. There we are. Now it's perfect. Delicious. It's perfect.
If you want to get that brown color back on your brush, hover over your model and press the Shift X shortcut. This will sample whatever color is below your mouse. In Blender 3.6 and earlier, the shortcut is just the S key. And finally, I'll add some white spots, because all good mushrooms need white spots. This is law in the fantasy genre. I'll paint in some large white spots, not being too concerned with whether they're perfectly circular, and then I'll fill in the gaps with some smaller white spots. Now, for the single most important step of the tutorial, save your texture. This is extremely important because Blender doesn't do this by default, not even when you save your scene. So you need to save this texture to your hard drive, or the next time you open Blender, that texture will be gone. Over in your image editor, go to the image menu. This little star symbol next to the menu is specifically there to tell you that this image hasn't been saved yet. The file should already be named something like mushroom base color, which is a good name. Choose a simple file format, either PNG or JPEG is good. Will be gone. Over in your image editor, go to the image menu. This little star symbol next to the menu is specifically there to tell you that this image hasn't been saved yet. The file should already be named
Save as. Hit save as. No, wrong button. Image. Save as. Arcade color red. How the fuck? Is it me or is it the wrong color? It could just be me. It just, something feels like the wrong color there. Oh, it was the wrong color. Whoops. Why the See? It does it again. Wait. I swear is doing it because this is all one cube, right? Yeah, see? It goes there. So, if I just, let's say, go here, do this, and do that. Yep, that's making sense now. Okay, we're gonna do it like that.
Something like mushroom base color, which is a good name. Choose a simple file format, either PNG or JPEG is good. Personally, I use PNGs these days as I found that JPEGs from Blender can introduce some artifacts. Once saved, you'll see that that little star symbol in the menu has disappeared. This is a very quick and dirty workflow. As you make more complicated objects, you're going to want to learn some more complicated UV unwrapping techniques. In this next video, I'll show you how you can UV unwrap and add text to an object. But for now, congratulations, you've just unwrapped and textured your first model. I'm going to put some eyes on this little fella. Now he's a happy little mushroom.
Well, we've only been live for almost 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you what, we got that thing done. Look at our beautiful machine that we have created. And I do say it's not too far off from the actual thing. Y'all tell me. How far away are we from it? I'm kind of proud of it, I'll be honest with y'all. It was fun doing that, genuinely. I will say I definitely still need to work on it. I definitely still need work. But that was pretty fun, you know? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we get a couple professionals if they're still online. They are. We're gonna see how they feel about it. Y'all ready? Yo.
Hey, Gaylor.
Hey.
Playing Gmod. You want to join us?
I will right after I get y'all's opinion.
On what?
This right here. I am currently working on building the arcade machines for Flower Boy Funhouse in 3D.
Oh, can you show me the map?
I will, but tell me how you feel about the arcade.
Wait, that's actually like. Hold on. I need to see what the image actually. I need to see what like the reference actually looks like for me to judge it real quick. Let me see.
I got one if you want me to send it real
There
quick.
we go.
I got it. Here, I'll send it.
I'll do a side by side comparison.
Here you go. I just sent it to you on in the chat.
That's actually pretty accurate. It's just like I mean, you have to make it a little wider, I think.
I took way too long.
So you're saying it needs to be wider?
Yeah, you see in the or it might be the angle of the
I
You see
think it
the
might have
image?
been the angle because
I'm
this is
back.
it head
Yeah,
on.
VR on the table.
I'm alive.
My controller's disappeared, but whatever. Okay,
I
hold
don't know. Maybe tomorrow probably.
But yeah, this is the one of the arcade machines. I still gotta do like the blue
W
one
killer.
and the
Okay.
green one.
Where is the tung 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 tung
But
tung
yeah,
tung?
this is only like my
Guys,
first
face
time
reveal.
using it.
3, 2, 1. My face revealed. Yeah, my face is actually a VR. Isn't that
Nice.
great?
Okay, killer. Do I have you friended on
Alright.
Gmod.
yeah, their Steam? Here, what's your friend code?
This pastor's nice.
Give me 1 second. I'll
Hold
end
on.
my stream and then I'll hand it to you.
I sent you the
Oh, I need to.
I got you. I got you. Give
I
me
sent you my friend
1 second. All right, chat. I tell you what. Thank you all for being here. It was a very interesting night tonight. Normally not live on Mondays. But I think I'm going to be trying to go live like every single day, at least a little bit. Kind of document my process of learning how to use Blender, learning how to like use Hammer and all this stuff. I will say, we were on a roll today. So if you're here, thank you very much. I know this isn't a normal time for me to be doing this live. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. I certainly did. Jesus, I can't talk. But I will see y'all in the next one.